Okay, again in this lesson we're going to do more problem solving with the mean. So let's look at the example. 5 people buy a large takeaway meal. The average cost of the meal per person is £9.40. It's decided that the person going to collect it doesn't have to pay. How much will each person have to pay now? So we start this the same way as the previous ones. Start with the formula, mean equals sigma x over n, and try and fill in what we know. Right, so let's have a look at this. 5 people buy a large takeaway meal. Sometimes it's good to read it twice. The average cost of the meal, that's the mean then, £9.40, right? So we know that's £9.40. Right, sigma x, well, there's 5 things added up. We don't actually know what that comes to. That would be the total cost of the meal for the 5 people, but we know what n is. N is 5. Okay, so I don't know what the top is, but I can undo my fraction if you like. I can times both sides by 5 to get rid of the fraction. So it times that by 5, times that by 5, and you'll get what the top line comes to. So we're saying 47. If you do 5 times 940, sigma x comes to 47. So that means everybody paid basically £47 when there was 5 people paying for it. That was the total cost of the meal. But this time it's saying how much will each person pay if the person going doesn't pay. So this whole meal costs £47. Now we're splitting it 4 ways because the guy collecting it doesn't pay. So all we do is 47 divided by 4. That comes out £11.75 and you're done. So just to recap there, you set the formula out, you filled the mean in, you filled n in because that was 5, we knew that from the 5 people buying the takeaway. And when we multiplied by 5, we worked out what the total cost of the meal was. It was £47. And then we can split it 4 ways to get the cost it would now be for each person. Okay, so another example. When a family of 4 visit their granddad, their mean age is 35. When granddad is included in the group, the mean age of the 5 then goes up to 44. How old is granddad? So there's quite a lot of information here. When a family of 4 visit their granddad, their mean age is 35. Then when the family of 5, the mean age goes up to 44. So the way to do this is to do 2 separate mean calculations. One where there's 4 people and one where there's 5 people. So the same idea, start with your formula as we did in all the other hard questions. Now let's look at this first part of the question. A family of 4 visit their granddad, their mean age is 35. Well, let's look at that here. Mean age is 35 and there's only 4 people. So we can work out what they all added up to, what all the ages added up to when there was 4 people. How do we do that? Well, we'll get rid of the fraction by times in by 4 and times in by 4. Now, what happens to this side? Well, they just cancel. We're left with the top line, sigma x, and 4 times 35 is 140. So when there was 4 people, the ages added up to 140 if you added them all up. On the top line, as in the first ever example we did in the mean, it would come to 140. Let's look what happened when there was 5 people, when granddad was included. This is the second bit. So when granddad was included, there was 5 people and the mean's now 44. So 44, we don't know what they all add up to, and there's now 5 people. Okay, same idea as before, get rid of the fraction, do that by times in by 5. And the same to the other side, times by 5. Sorry about the writing here, it's my mouse. Okay, so times this side by 5 and they cancel each other out, so we're just left with sigma x. Times 44 by 5, you get 220. So when it was 4 people, the ages came to 140. When granddad was added in, the ages came to 220, so granddad must be the difference between these two. So granddad must be 80 years old.